the Celtics should be happy. I think. How that was a 7-game series, I have no idea. Hobbled, no second dependable scorer. I don't know what to make of it. They were down 13 with 3.5 minutes left. How was it close after getting overwhelmed in the first quarter? I think I'm more impressed right now with Miami than I am with Boston. And it's a reminder that great basketball teams, the great ones, that's the Steph, KD, Clay, Draymond Warriors, the Kobe, Shaq Lakers, Showtime Lakers. The Heatles, I think, qualify as that. They have a huge knockout punch. I mean, they go on a 20-4 run, a 17-2 run, and they do it quickly, and they overwhelm you. They bury you. Lights out. See you tomorrow. Thanks for flying United. Boston can absolutely, this Boston team, dominate you for a quarter. And you hit a couple buckets to open the next quarter, and it's like a 9-point game. They're just not gifted enough offensively. That's why Boston is a really good basketball team. And there are moments when Marcus Smart, their top defensive player, and the NBA's top defensive player, when Marcus Smart is adding offense, and that's not a regular occurrence. That's about every third or fourth game. Marcus Smart gives you offense. Then Boston's hard to beat. But that's not a regular occurrence. I mean, Boston outplayed Milwaukee without Chris Middleton. It went 7. They outplayed Miami that didn't have Tyler Hero, and Jimmy Butler was hurt, and it went 7. Again, if Marcus Smart scores 20+, Boston hasn't lost in the playoffs. That's when they're really, really good. So they have moments when they can be great, but it's not normal. It's not who they are. They are defined by defense and will now play a Golden State team, which isn't defined by any one thing because they do everything well. They defend. They score. They shoot threes. They drive. It's going to be a handful for them. I honestly came away from this series sort of blown away with Miami. Physically hobbled. Lost the sixth man of the year, who, let's be honest, once he was hurt, he was playing at 50%. Tyler Hero, groin injury. You could see him in pregame warmups. He was grimacing. They have a very limited offense. Bam Adebayo is there too, but he was shut down in most games. He's more of a 3 or a 4 on a championship team. Jimmy Butler's got an inflamed knee, which he's been dealing with for several years because he's played a lot of games. And the fact that he played, last 2 games, all but about 4 minutes, I don't know. This team was all on will and fight and passion. That's the story. This game will, 10 years from now, this Miami team, the memories will disappear into the ether. I think I was more impressed with the Heat. How was this series close? It was just on guts and guile and mettle and moxie, and that's why they shot 20% on threes, 66% from the free throw line, only 42% from the field. And with a minute left, after being clobbered in the first quarter, Miami hung around. It's not a shot at Boston. They're a very good basketball team. They're a better basketball team than Miami. But sometimes the guy who wins the fight is not as impressive as the guy who loses it. And I come away looking at Miami. I said all year on this show multiple times, I don't get Miami. I don't get it. They don't have a second scorer. I get it now. I mean, that was one of the great efforts ever by a team. The fact that Miami won in Boston in Game 6 makes no sense. And one of the most heroic performances from Jimmy Butler I ever recall a player having as a losing player in a series. I would have given the MVP to Jimmy Butler. That's not a knock on Jayson Tatum. He's well-rounded. He's one of my favorite young players in the league. I thought the MVP of the series, the fact that it went 7 is unbelievable. Jimmy Butler may not be an elite scorer, but what's interesting about Jimmy Butler, on an inflamed knee, look at the minutes he played in the last 2 games. Played virtually every minute. And I mean, that's a guy that plays both ends of the floor. Too often, we don't know and can't interpret what the word valuable means. This is something I complain about all the time. Most valuable player in the series was Jimmy Butler. That's not even arguable. Most valuable player was Jimmy Butler. Take Jimmy Butler off the Heat. They don't win a game. They don't win a quarter. You take Jayson Tatum off the Celtics, it'd be competitive. They could push back. So I don't spend a lot of time talking about the team that lost a series, but tip of the cap to Miami. It took me the final game of the season to figure you guys out. I did. You'll go home. You'll retool. You'll reboot. You don't have to rebuild. And congrats to the Celtics. Going to be an interesting series against the Warriors. Now let's shift gears to this on Memorial Day. The Los Angeles Lakers have hired a new coach, and his name is Darvin Ham. 2 words. Good luck. Here's where the Lakers are as an organization. I called one person over the weekend that's in the league as an executive, and he echoed a sentiment that many are saying. I can't believe the Lakers hired the right guy. That's where we are. People are surprised the Lakers went out and didn't go for a big name. Yeah, I would have taken Doc Rivers. I'm not anti-Darvin Ham, but he is the 6th coach in 11 years. And I was thinking about this. So the Lakers, even in Los Angeles, forget nationally, even in Los Angeles, they get beat up by the media. This is not a small town. It's a big city media. They get clobbered by the media. And a lot of it's because USC now has a right coach, and the Dodgers are always interesting, and the Rams won the Super Bowl. So there's a lot of winning in this town right now. And the Lakers aren't. 6th coach in 11 years. A lot of chaos, tire fire on the 405. It's kind of a mess. But I was thinking about this. They're almost better off. Not every mess you can figure out quickly. Okay, the biggest way to make a mess, a second mess, is to get impatient. And that's not one of my virtues. So I'm speaking not from an area of strength. I'm not an overly patient person. But I think you can make an argument. Keep Westbrook for a year. It'll be awful and toxic like it was last year. And LeBron won't like it, that's true. And the fans won't like it, that's true. And it's probably not great for the brand, and that's true. And you'll get ripped for another year, and that's true. But then you'll have space. Because in the NBA, the way the contracts work, it's not like this in football or baseball. In order to trade a bad contract, you have to inherit bad contracts. They're trying to avoid tanking. Silly, but that's the way it works. It's for competitive balance, though the league rarely has it. And so my argument is, why not just go into this year? It's absolutely awful. Darvin Ham's not going to get fired. The Lakers are not going to have a 7th coach in 12 years. They have been so criticized, so roundly mocked, that Darvin Ham's first year could very well be year 2. Inherit the mess. Don't make rash decisions. Keep Westbrook's contract. He'll take the hit. So will the franchise, not you. Yes, LeBron may not like it. He's in year 20. Where's he going to go? He's doubled his net worth in Los Angeles. You want to go back to Cleveland? Want to go play in Philadelphia? Join KD with Brooklyn? I don't think so. LeBron likes it here. His family likes it here. It's great for his business here. His friends like it here. He's got a social net. He's got a massive business net. Where are you going to go? But when I look at this situation, I think, how do you succeed? Clear the books. As much as possible, clear the books. That's the only way I can see it succeeding. Because literally the reaction around the league is, wow, they got it right. That didn't used to be a question for the Lakers. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.